Hercules arrived at the swamps of Lerner, where the air was thick with poison, and the wild seemed to shift beneath his feet. There in the shadow of an ancient spring, the Hydra waited. In the ancient world of Greek mythology, there existed a creature so terrifying, so unrelenting, that its very name became a symbol of chaos, the Hydra. Born from the monster and bathed in venom, this serpent-like beast was just deadly. It was immortal. Every time one of its many heads was served, two more would grow back in its place. It could not be silenced, destroyed, or contained. It simply returned, stronger, deadlier. But Hydra wasn't just a monster of muscle and fang. It became a mythic metaphor of the problems we cannot kill, the darkness that multiplies when confronted. From legend to constellations, comic book to biology labs, Hydra endures, not just in story, but in symbols. Because Hydra doesn't die, it regenerates, and that's what makes it eternal. Hydra wasn't just any monster. It was born from the union of Typhon and Echidna, two of the most feared and ancient entities in Greek mythology. Typhon, a storm-breathing giant with 100 dragon heads, and Echidna, half woman, half snake, known as the mother of monsters. From their dark union came some of mythology's most terrifying creatures. Hydra's siblings were no less fearsome. Among them was Cerberus, the three-headed Hun guarding the gates of Underworld, and Chimera, a fire-breathing creature with a body of the lion, the head of a goat on its back, and a serpent for a tail. Hydra was raised not in palaces or temples, but in the swamps of Lerner, a misty, fetish region in Hercules believed to be one of the gateways to the underworld itself. It was here, in the murk and shadow, that the Hydra grew, protected, hidden, and feared. The name Hydra comes from the Greek word meaning water. It's no coincidence. This beast was deeply tied to element, fluid, shifting, impossible to contain. The waters of Lerner nourished its body, but also mirrored its mystery, ever changing, ever returning. The Hydra was no ordinary beast. In its most iconic form, it appears as a massive serpent emerging from the waters like living nightmare, its long scale body coiled in eternal readiness. Most famously, it bore multiple heads, each one vicious, fang, and capable of independent thought. But the real horror, every time a head was cut off, two more would grow back in its place. Some ancient texts say its head as filled as 5 heads. Others speak of 9. Still others claim 100, an impossible tangle of biting, snapping, regenerating fury. One version describes it as having a body of a dragon, with rotting snake heads sprouting from its neck like a grotesque crown. But beyond its terrifying shape, Hydra's power came from its nature. Its breath was thick with toxic, so deadly that even scent could kill. Its blood wasn't red, it was poison. Its fang dipped venom that so chill could protect against. Even the mere wound from its body could bring a slow and agonizing death. And then there was the immortal head. Unlike the others, it could not be cut off, destroyed, or silent. It was a symbol of something deeper, something that endures when all else falls. No matter how heads was slid away, the immortal one remained, watching, waiting. Hydra was more than a monster. It was a warning, a thought that said, you can fight, you can burn, but something cannot be killed. They can only be survived. The Hydra legend might have faded into obscurity, if not for a hero who faded head-on, Hercules, son of Zeus, the mightiest of mortals. As punishment and redemption for a tragic past, Hercules was tasked with completing 12 impossible labors. His second labor, to slay the Hydra of Lerna, the eternal beast that plagued the swamp and terrorized the land. The battle began not with thunder, but with silence. Hercules arrived at the swamps of Lerna, where the air was thick with poison, and the ground seemed to shift beneath his feet. There, in the shadow of an ancient spring, the Hydra waited. Hercules struck first, hurling flaming arrows to lure the beast from its lair. Then, with club and sword, he began to hack at its head. But the Hydra was no ordinary monster. Each time he served a head, 2 more sprouted in his blade. The more he fought, the more the creature multiplied. Muscle alone would not win this war. It was then that Hercules called upon his nephew, Aeolus. Quick-witted and fearless, Aeolus brought a torch. Working together, the two formed a rhythm, Hercules cutting, Aeolus cauterizing. With each decapitation, Aeolus seared the stump shut, preventing the Hydra from regenerating. Head by head, the Hydra began to fall, but one remained, the immortal head. No flame could burn it. No blade could serve its permanence. So, Hercules did something different. He lopped off the unkillable head and buried it deep in beneath a massive boulder, entombing it where no man or god would reach it. The Hydra was defeated, but the story didn't end there. Hercules dipped his arrow into the Hydra blood, making them lethally poisonous. These arrows would go on to change fate itself. One would accidentally strike Chiron, the wise and immortal centaur, bringing about his painful end. Another would say Nessus, a centaur whose trickery would later lead to Hercules' lone doom. The battle wasn't just a test of strength, it was a riddle. The Hydra teaches us that some problems multiply when confronted head-on. That brute force alone cannot serve what is rooted in darkness. That sometimes it takes fires, strategy, and help from another to defeat what refuses to die. And even then, some heads, some wounds, can only be buried, not destroyed. The Hydra may have been born in the swamps of ancient Greece, but its legacy has outlived empires. In mythology, the Hydra was cautionary tale, a monster that spurns arrogance, requires ingenuity, and symbolized the problems that refuse to die. But even after the last head were burned and the immortal one buried, Hydra lived on. In the sky above us, the beast was immortalized. The constellation Hydra is the longest in heavens, stretching more than 100 degrees across the night. Yet for all this sight, only 2 stars truly shine. Just like a mythic creature, indestructible head, growing after the others have fallen. A celestial echo of the story, too potent to forget. In visual art, Hydra has inspired centuries of imagination. The French painter Gustave Moreau captured its menace's swirling color and shadow. German artist Frank von Stock offered the darker, more visceral interpretation, Hydra as the embodiment of struggle and horror. In modern literature, the beast returned with renewed relevance. In Rick Riordan Percy Jackson series, Hydra is reimagined for a new generation, still deadly, still multiplying, still impossible to destroy. On screen, it slithered into mythology adaptation and fantasy adventures, where heroes face not just his fangs, but his message. Perhaps most famously, Marvel redefined Hydra as an underground terror organization. Its slogan, "Cut off one head, 2 more shall take its place," is a direct echo of the ancient myth. In this story, Hydra doesn't need skill or poison. Its power lies in its persistence, its ability to adapt, to reappear, to infect many corners of the world it touches. And in gaming, Hydra reigned as a high-level threat. From Age of Mythology to Titan Quest, player faced the beast in digital form. Still dangerous, still hard to kill. But the Hydra doesn't just exist in fantasy. In biology, it lives under the microscope. The genus Hydra is a tiny aquatic organism, only about 1 millimeter long. But its whole miraculous secret: it doesn't age. Its cell regenerates endlessly. It never dies of old age. It's not a legend, it's science. From starlight to cell walls, the Hydra remains a symbol of what can't be ended, not by sword, not by time. The Hydra isn't just a monster from a myth, it's a mirror. It reflects the nature of the problems we face in life, the ones that refuse to go away, the ones that when attacked directly and without thought, only come back stronger. Every serve has its a challenge avoided. Hydra symbolizes the danger of surface solutions, of trying to fix deep-rooted issues with quick blunt force. Whether it's personal trauma, social unrest, or internal struggle, what isn't cauterized at the core will regenerate again and again. But Hydra is also a symbol of resilience, of regeneration. In the parts of us that fight to survive, no matter how many times they struck down, it showed us the illusion of destruction, that something can appear defeated, yet still endure. The battle with Hydra reminds us that some problems require more than power. They demand strategy, patience, and often have from others. Hercules didn't win alone. He had Aeolus. Without wisdom and partnership, he might still be fighting that monster in the swamp. Ultimately, Hydra isn't a warning and a lesson. If you don't solve the root of the problem, it won't just come back. It will come back bigger, meaner, and harder to face. From the swamps of ancient learner to the store above and the shell beneath a microscope, Hydra endure. It is more than myth, it's metaphor, a symbol of the challenges that grow when ignored, and the strength required to face them. In art, in science, in stories, we meet Hydra again and again, because some legends don't die, they regenerate.